Good day, I am here to teach you how to configure the VoIP phones in Packet Tracer. First, I will open the application to start the configuration. And now, let's start. For our configuration, I will be using the equipment 2811, and for the switches, there are many types of switches, but we're only using the equipment 2960. Try to put it next to the router with enough space for the wired connection. So for this configuration, we will be using IP phones. So I will be using 4 IP phones for the configuration of VoIP. After inserting the IP phones, let's insert the analog phones and the home VoIP. So for the wiring connection, we will be using straight through for our router and switch because both are different devices. For the switch and IP phones, the connection is also straight through. Try connecting from switch to each IP phones. For the analog phone and home VoIP equipment, a dash pattern connection or match called phone is used. And now for the IP phones, connect the power adapter to the port of each IP phone device to turn it on. So now let's go to the configuration. Open the router and go to CLI. So we are now inside of CLI. Type no in the question to proceed the configuration. Type en or enable and then type conft or configure terminal and observe that the router has a config. Type intfa or interface fast ethernet 0/0. Notice that this was used in the router equipment. Then type the IP address. You can also input your own IP address. I will be inputting 192.168.70.1. Since this is a Class C type of IP address, the gateway will be 255.255.255.0 and then type no shutdown. Notice that the setup was changed. Type exit. Then type IP DHCP full voice. Then type the network IP address, which is the subnet and gateway. And then type default router and the IP address, which is 192.168.70.1. Type option 150 IP 192.168.70.1 as your address and type exit. And we're back again to router config. Type telephony service phones since the maximum phones and DN are 5. Type IP source addresses and your IP which was used in the router. Type port 2000. Then type auto assign 4 to 6. Then next, type auto assign 1 to 5 and then type exit. And for the switch, type en and conf t to configure the switch. Then type int range fa 0/2-6. Since there are 4 IP phones and an analog phone, then type switch port, mode access, and switch port, voice VLAN 1. Let's go back to the router. Let's configure the IP phones. Type the line number. In this part, I will be using 77001 and then type exit and then repeat the process until it reach the maximum of 5. After inputting all the needed steps, see that the phones are already registered. Let's go to home VoIP and type the IP address 192.168.70.1 in the config. Since the configuration is all done, let's try making a phone call. Let's use this IP phones line number 77002 and the 77003. Let's put them on display together to see clearly how it works. After dialing the IP phone 77002 from 77003, you can see that it was ringing after ending the call. You can see that it was connected. Now, let's try this analog phone and try calling one of the IP phones. You can see that the structure is much more different from the IP phones. Let's try to call the line number 77002 using the analog phone. Let's try to make a phone call. Type 77002 and now let's try to make a call. Notice the IP phone is ringing after it has been dialed by analog phone. So, to make it more organized, let's try putting colors to make this presentation become more presentable. So after this, the configuration is all done. Now all we have to do is to save the file. So yeah, that's all for this video tutorial. I hope you learned. Thank you for watching.